$350,000. That's how much it could cost each county all across America that has to print ballots in languages other than English. One Colorado congressman wants to pass a law that would undo what he calls this unfunded federal mandate. He's getting plenty of pushback from immigration advocates who say this is an attempt to disenfranchise eligible minority voters. Here now for fair and balanced debate, Congressman Mike Coffman and Juan Cartagena, President and General Counsel for Latino Justice. Gentlemen, welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Congressman, as I understand it, this is part of the Voting Rights Act from way back in 1973 to make sure all folks can get out there and vote, whether they're proficient in English or not. So why do you want to shut that down?
Well, this is Section 203 of the 1973 Voting Rights Act. That specific provision, this is a costly, unfunded mandate upon cash-strapped local jurisdictions. The methodology to determine which local jurisdiction fall under this requirement greatly exaggerates the need. In Colorado, we have 10 counties right now subject to the requirement. It looks like the Obama administration wants to add another 16 counties. In my home county, the cost of additional printing and postage has been estimated to be $350,000. When a county falls under this requirement, it's not just those who request the ballot, it's every ballot has to be dual language. I think that I'm not opposed to dual language ballots. I just think the decision shouldn't be made out of Washington, D.C. It ought to be made in the local communities.
Mr. Cartagena, is that a fair argument to you? I mean, that this is something that individual communities should be able to decide whether or not they can afford to do, or should Washington hand it down from on high?
Well, the fact of the matter is that Colorado has been providing some form of language assistance to voters even before 1975, according to some of the research in the Voting Rights Act. What's incredible about this argument is that it assumes that decisions are being made by the Obama administration. That's not true. The decision whether or not to provide bilingual ballots is a function of demography and the change in census numbers. If more Hispanic or Native American citizens are present in parts of the country and they need assistance, they will get it. That's what the law says. It's simple demography.
All right, Congressman, can you put a price on somebody's ability to vote in a Republican democracy?
Well, a couple of things. Let's be clear. I think all of us support the ability for every United States citizen with a legal right to cast a ballot to do so in this country. There is no specific right in law for someone who does not speak English to be afforded the right to vote in their native language. What the law says is if in the long form, in a given jurisdiction, over 5% of the voting age respondents say that they're not that their ability to comprehend English is not in the very well category, it goes very well, fair, and not at all. If they respond in anything other than very well, they're considered language deficient, and if that jurisdiction meets that 5% threshold, then every ballot has to go out dual language. I just think that's a really gross exaggeration in terms of defining that need. I studied at the University of Veracruz in Mexico. I've, as an elected official, done interviews in Spanish. I would consider myself fair, but I could certainly read a ballot in Spanish. And I think, so I think that the way the law...
let me ask,
yes.
Mr. Cartagena, I want to ask you, is it improper to ask that somebody who is here in the U.S. and wants to vote should have at least basic English proficiency in order to cast a ballot?
Not all American citizens, believe it or not, are born speaking English in the United States. There's over 4 million Puerto Ricans who now live in the United States, and another 3.8 million in Puerto Rico who have been citizens of the United States in the 1920s. English was not a requirement for their citizenship back then, nor is it now. But here's the point. Whether I can speak in Spanish or in English at one level is going to be very difficult for me to translate that and read, let's say, a ballot initiative. I think even a congressman would agree that it would take 2 or 3 readings in the regular English language of complex ballot initiatives. The fact that I also studied in Mexico, Congressman. The fact that I may know Spanish doesn't mean I can translate or make sense of complex legal jargon. Sometimes assistance is needed for citizens who have yet to master English,
and
there's only a limited number of people.
Gentlemen, we got to leave it there. Congressman Coffman and Mr. Juan Cartagena, we thank you both, and we will watch this legislation and see what happens on Capitol Hill.
Thank you.
Thank you.